this is my final part covering what Kayleigh had to say in response to my interview with Michael. So check out my first two parts if you haven't already. In this video, we're going to cover more of the timeline. Kayleigh said she's open to any questions, so if you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comments. But what I wanted to know was the timeline. When exactly did you guys split? When exactly did you guys get divorced? So she shared the police report. I'm not going to read the police report because I've already shared it in previous videos. I'll share some slides without what she said in front of it, so you can pause if you haven't seen it already. But she said, this is the police report originally. I didn't file it until October because I was going to let it go. So this incident that they're claiming in the police report happened in September. She said, I was in shock, I was confused, and I couldn't even talk about it, let alone make my kids talk about it. But he kept calling me and harassing me on social media, so I called the police. They set up an interview date for December, and I never showed because I was at work. I got called in. I called the next day because I went there to talk to them, and I had to call my therapist because I was having a panic attack. I told them I wasn't mentally ready to pursue this because it did a lot of damage to me mentally, emotionally, and physically. They said we completely understand and I could reopen it at any time. You couldn't even mention Mike's name around my kids without them freaking out. We had to get a Ring camera for all over outside, cameras inside, and now they all have cell phones. And that's why she said that charges were never pressed on Michael after she made the police report, because she said that she never did the follow-up interviews to give them enough evidence that they needed to pursue the charges. She told production about her filing the police report and the allegations, and I thought that the production would wipe their hands clean of them afterwards. But they pretty much said, okay, since Michael's the one being accused in the police report, we're not going to film anymore with him, but we'll come back and film with you. So they ended up coming back and filming one more time because apparently the cameraman, when they got back to New York after they left Arizona, I guess he ended up deleting a lot of their footage. So the producers were like, okay, we need to come back and film what we can with you. We're not going to be filming with Michael. You have nothing to worry about. But we need your mom so we can try to make some scenes. So I guess she had a scene with her mom. And I guess in this scene, we're going to see where her nails are red and she's not wearing a wedding ring. And then if you look in the back, you can see a man's hat. And I guess I'm assuming that's her newest husband's hat that we'll see sitting there. And a picture of a man and his son in her living room that wasn't there before, which I'm assuming is her husband. Oh, I can't wait for that scene. I wonder if they end up blurring him out because I'm curious what he looks like. But she said, then the dinner scene that they're going to have, she has pink nails with a different shape. And that's because they're having her reenact scenes that were accidentally deleted, according to the cameraman. Then I asked her to break down the timeline for me a little easier because I was getting a little confused. Mainly I wanted to know like where they were in their relationship when she made this police report, when exactly they separated, and how long after that did someone file for a divorce. So she said, so he choked me in August and I went to the ER for that. I tried to get a CT scan because I'm on blood thinners. I told him he hurt me and he over choked me. He ignored and said, oh, you liked it, and then made a joke about the belt having sentimental value. And here is the report from when she went to the doctor showing that she actually went after she believed she was over choked. Here's the hospital report that I was provided from August, where it was talking about how they're observing her neck. And then it goes, she went on to say, in September, he came over from the halfway house, which is in his interview from a TV show, he said he brought the rope and they don't have a rope at a halfway house, meaning that he's showing that he went and purchased rope and knew what he was doing. He came over to my house and had not confirmed with anyone that he was coming over, so my daughter had a friend staying the night and my older daughter went to her friend's birthday party. We officially split right after filming because Michael told producers about my mommy makeover to make fun of my body and encourage me to lose weight. When I actually had a lot of medical issues because of that surgery, I have a message his mom sent to one of her friends saying that also. And I did see a few screenshots from Kayleigh talking about like her freaking out because she did have a lot of complications from that mommy makeover in Mexico. And then she said I reported the incident to the police in October because he wouldn't stop messaging me and calling me. He was calling me on different social media platforms I had blocked him on. At that point, I then reported to the police so that way I could obtain an order of protection and maybe it would encourage him to stop and leave me alone. I did report in September because I have such a history with sexual trauma. I was in actual shock that he would do that, especially with my children there. It took me a long time to work through that with my therapist. She said at first she didn't recognize that was SA until she told her therapist about it, and her therapist was like, no, that is definitely SA, and he shouldn't have done that to you. And then she said he filed because I didn't have time to do it because I was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. We split pretty much right after filming, and he said they edited out parts of my show on Love During Lockup because of my strict job policy, and she said that's not true. She denies ever having an OF. I guess Michael said that she had an OF at one point. She said that she just told Michael she had an OF because he wouldn't get off her butt about it. He kept pushing her, make an OF, sell sexy pictures. I was in lingerie all over the TV. Even after I told production that I was uncomfortable and I didn't want to do that, they pushed me to do it. And she said that they pretty much split right after they were done filming. She said we started fighting on set because he was downstairs in the kitchen on the phone. And during the phone scene, you see in the bathroom, he left me alone upstairs with a production crew full of men. She had repent, I think she meant repeat, over the bed and started talking about playing with myself. Okay, so the producers want her to play with herself while they recorded it, which that makes sense because I've never noticed as many people on any show having phone sex or trying to act like, you know, they're doing stuff like that on a TV show. Like, why would you do that willingly? Like, wait till nighttime when the producers go home. But it sounds like this is something the producers push. So she said, they didn't use it because I was crying. I had said no, and one of the camera guys said, I'm not filming anymore. This is too much. The producer then came up to me afterwards and said, if you don't want to do something, say no. I told her I did say no, and she said, well, you need to stand on it. He put me in a position, the same position, bent me over the bed. Okay, she messed up what she said. He put me in a position, the same position, he bent me over the bed, saying things exactly like my stepdad used to tell me when he would take advantage of me when I was younger. And the producer told me that he was enjoying it. That's why we split. That's why there's scenes edited out because it became such an issue. I got a phone call from another head producer about it, and then the last time they came out to film. Okay, that's weird for a producer to see Michael bending over Kayleigh and then be like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. That is weird. I won't tell them to pack their bags and go home right then and there. She said, well, you see all my nails are red. I was working with the head producer because of all the shit that went down on the set that time. He sent me a message on TikTok basically apologizing for what he did to me and the kids. A letter or a message of admittance, pretty much. He even sent me another message and asked if he was coming to the house in October for a 24-hour pass. And I said, no, why would you? We are not playing house. And my order of protection is good for 2 years. So they have reason to believe that he's dangerous to me and my kids. And this is new to me. I had no idea that she got an order of protection granted against Michael. So yeah, you guys heard it here first. She did get an order of protection against Michael. She might have said that in her recent interview. I'm not sure. But this was new to me. This is the first time I've heard that. And then she said the butcher scene. You know, when she first got out, because I will admit I was confused because she did say, oh, I paid the cards off before he got out, so his balance was down to 0. But then I was like, okay, then what happened at the butcher scene? Like, did the money not hit the account yet? You know, because sometimes it can take a few days. She said the butcher scene and the argument outside were completely staged. My face looked like I didn't care because I kept laughing, and they told me that I needed to pull it together, so that was the best I could do. We both knew the scene was scripted. They never actually charged his card, and we never actually purchased the meat. Damn, I would be mad if that was the butcher shop. I'm excited these people came in, and I think I got me a big few $100 sale, and they had me picking all this meat up just for me to have to put it back at the end because they're not going to buy it. And then she said same thing with the conversation outside. He kept poking at me over his payment that he had already been made, and when I said I only owed $1,000 on the license fees, that was true for him to get his license reinstated. Michael revealed in my interview that he got a 3-bedroom house that he lives in. I don't know if I showed that part of the interview yet because I have a 3rd part coming out after the season finale because he couldn't talk about a few things like the divorce and stuff yet. I don't know if I already shared that part yet or if it's going to be the next part that's coming up, but he did reveal that he has a 3-bedroom house that he pays $1,000 a month for, and I was like, damn, that's cheap because I just bought me a 3-bedroom house and I paid a lot more than that, like unless you're in the middle of the hood or something. But apparently I learned that his mom Angel takes care of like elderly people, and one of her clients passed away and left her house, and she ended up giving that house to Michael. And I guess Michael, that's why he only pays $1,000 a month, because he pays it to his mother because his mom got lucky out of the deal, ended up getting a house from someone who passed. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my first 2 parts that I posted before this of Kayleigh responding to Michael's interview, and check out my 2-part interview with Michael if you haven't already. And let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching.